So Kati, what is it that you do in your work?
I'm a professor of speech communication at the University in Marburg in Germany. And what I primarily do is I'm working on argumentation among children and among adults and children. So that's my main research focus.
Okay, so here in SciTalk, you have introduced us to the term epistemic stance. Can you explain to us what that is?
Yes, I hope so. Epistemic stance refers to the way you deal with knowledge in the interaction. It refers to the security with which you refer to certain knowledge you have and what you attribute to the other in the interaction. When, for example, I say, this is a chestnut, I take an epistemic stance of sincerity. I'm quite secure that this is the correct information. I could also say, this, I don't know, could be some nutty thing, or it could be a chestnut. Then I would take a different epistemic stance. I would mark my knowledge as not so secure.
Mm-hmm.
And for the talk with children, that might be quite important to reflect on this epistemic stance on two ways. How do I present my knowledge or my not knowing in the interaction? Do I say, if somebody asks me, what is this? Oh, this is a chestnut. I could also ask, well, I'm not sure. Shall we look it up? And it's also important for the way I enter an interaction. And that's probably the more important way even. Sometimes kindergarten teachers or primary school teachers feel a little insecure about their own knowledge in the natural sciences. And if they feel very insecure, that might prevent them from engaging in science talk.
Yeah.
So it is important, we think, to reflect on this epistemic stance. How comfortable am I with themes in natural sciences? Do I have the feeling I always need to know everything? Because in science you always need to know everything. And all these issues come into the notion of epistemic stance.
Right. And you said that the kindergarten teachers or the teachers should reflect on their epistemic stance. So what is the difference between self-reflection and epistemic stance, or reflecting on epistemic stance?
I think the notion of self-reflection is you take a step back from your action. So you have acted in a certain way. And ideally with some material, maybe you have a transcript, maybe you have a video, you look at it and you go through your actions and you consider, well, what did I do there? Could I do something differently? And if you think, well, I could do something differently, then this will have an impact on further actions. So self-reflection might have an effect on your epistemic stance you take next time. But the self-reflection itself is not an action that has any consequences, for example, in the interaction.
Right. So you think that the epistemic stance is important for the quality of the natural science talk with children?
I think so. I think because it sometimes opens up the opportunities for science talk. Because students or teachers who will feel secure in their insecurity, for example, knowing that they don't have to know everything, so that maybe their epistemic status, so what they really know about something and what others attribute them to know, mustn't be that of an expert. And that I can, in an interaction, take a stance of, well, I'm not sure. Shall we ask somebody else who knows it? We could ask this guy or that woman. If I allow myself to deal that way, that opens up other opportunities for science talk, as if I'm thinking, oh, I need to know everything, and now I know they'll ask about this, and because I don't know, I'll rather not get into these kind of situations.
So you can really have good quality talks without knowing everything.
I think actually you will have the best quality talks when you don't know everything, because then you start to explore together. And that's what science is all about, starting to explore. I think the interesting thing is that once you know a lot about science, you know that there are not clear-cut answers. That's the one point. And on the other side, of course you should know, and you should engage the child in knowing, but engaging means to keep things open and to not closing them down very early. So even if I would know, for example, that this is a chestnut, is that really what you want me to do when you're asking what this is? Or is it rather an invitation to find out or to see what we can do with it? So just answering the question because I'm so proud that I know what this is doesn't really engage us in anything. That doesn't mean that it's good to be an ignorant, non-science person who's proud of it.